Hey guys, welcome back to another Blueberry podcast. In today's topic, we're going to be talking about the reality of having friends. So let's jump right in. Reality of having friends. So when it comes to having friends, there are a lot of unanswered questions, which I will be talking about later on and answering that moving forward into the in-depth of this episode. But making friends is not as easy in most cases. I want to say that when you have close friends since middle school and then all of you guys are graduating together and maybe moving far apart from each other, like going to different high schools, it's kind of hard to maintain that job to stay close with each other because of how busy you are. So maybe your next plan is still to be in contact and close with your old friends and make new ones, which comes into three big categories. Now, these key things of wanting to make friends is respect/loyalty, trust, and confident. There are more, but these are just a few. Of course, you can have friends with tons of personality. That's up to you if you want that or not. But these are just something that I found out as a freshman and being in a new school, a new environment, a new state, yada, yada, yada. Now, just quickly transitioning to a new topic, which is leave things offline and not online. This will cause tons of drama. So now that you made friends and got each other's number and stuff, you have made a group chat. These group chats can become good or bad. Group chat sometimes leads to bad things that can create or build up drama, and that's like the reality of having friends, is that these will happen if you're not being careful. Because if you're talking bad about someone behind their back and they somehow find out, they may want to physically attack you in school, which makes you kind of like a wanted person in school. Then this also causes rumors of your name spreading around the school, maybe saying that you're a bad person/friend and you shouldn't become friends with this person, aka your name, because they talk bad behind your back. And that's pretty much the basic of that example of leaving things offline and not online. Now, the reality of having friends, there are going to be tons of questions, and like I said in the beginning of my podcast, I am going to be answering some of those frequently asked questions. One of them asking, how do I know if they're talking bad behind your back? Now, to answer the question for the how do I know if they're talking bad behind your back, there's really no right or wrong answers to this, as people out there have already answered this question, but everybody's answer is different because they have experienced this differently. Not everybody's going to experience the same thing, of course. But from what I have learned in middle school and high school, that there's no really like a real way for you to find out for yourself, like to know if they're talking bad behind your back. Though there's only like kind of one way for you to find out if they're talking bad behind your back, but that's a very like hard and unlikely chance, which is like a group of trios including yourself, so four, and then one of the trios popping out and telling you like what the other two people say. That's kind of like the gist of that. Now, it wouldn't work for duos, including you, so it's a trio. But I'm not saying that it wouldn't work. It can work, but it's harder because it's a group of duos, and duos usually fit perfectly than trios. And that's kind of like a common fact and stuff about how trios don't work out. A group of four doesn't work out, etc., etc. So there's really not, again, like a right or wrong answer. It's just like a, like, what have you experienced yourself answer. So for that's my answer to that question. There's no right or wrong answer to this. And, there's no real way to find out for yourself. Now, the next question that gets asked pretty much a lot sometimes is, how many friends should I have? That's up to you. If you want more friends, go ahead. If you want less friends, go for it. Yes, having a large friend group is great. There's tons of pros and cons to this. For example, like if everyone wanted to plan a hangout, I'm sure that not everyone's free on that same day. Especially for the people that are busy on the weekdays or the weekends with like any lessons and stuff going on. But the other people in the group chat may still want to hang out, which leads to being feel left out because of all your other friends are going to hang out and you can't. This kind of caused a lot of drama with these big friend groups with trust, because someone like you may get upset and left out and may not be happy about it, which is such a big issue when having a large friend group because you don't have control over that. It's one of those group leader things where if they say it. So now you have heard kind of like the example of larger friend groups. You may want to ask yourself, well, how about smaller friend groups? Are they any different? The answer is no, not really. Smaller friend groups are mostly the exact same as large friend groups. They mostly have the same stuff in common, where getting left out or getting upset, those are pretty common. And even with groups of 3, when you think of small friend groups, you may think of like 5 and stuff, which is pretty much, yeah, sure, you can count that. But in my opinion, as a group of 3 or group of 4 or group of 2, including yourself, so a group of 3 technically, But it's great to have a small friend group because you're able to get to know each other way quicker than you're supposed to. Here comes the problem of having a group of 3 in a friend group. So I'm gonna use the same example as I did with the large friend group of a hangout again, where, for example, you may again want to hang out and maybe one person may not be free, and that again leads up to feeling left out and getting upset and causing a lot of drama with trust. Now, these are just assumptions. Of course, I don't think you should have drama with every single hangout when you are not part of it, because it's kind of not your fault, but it's kind of also their fault, because it's your fault for being busy for so many days, but it's also their fault for planning it on a day that you're busy. The reason why I say trios don't ever work out is because, according to TikTok, some people say that trios don't work out and shows pictures of seats of 2 and not 3. But here's the thing, it's false. You may be asking why it's false, and that's because, here's the thing with trios, there's a big secret behind a group of 3s, is the only way for it to work out is if you guys all communicate with each other, which is one of the biggest skills of being in a friend group, is communication. If you don't do communication, your friend group probably will never work out the right way. And it's kind of like the big issue that you see right there, of course, now you think of it. But also, another way to keep trios together and for not letting TikTok ruin the word trios is to set boundaries and rules to keep control of the friend group. Now, of course, I'm not here to give you tips on how to control big friend groups or, all these stuff I just said before. But I'm here to talk about the reality of having friends and the dark side of having it and what it's like to have a large group of friends or a small group of friends, But like I said, having a big or small group of friends is really up to you if you can handle the stress load of controlling a friend group like that, or make sure that everybody likes each other. But that's all I gotta say. So moving on to the next question. Now, another question that I think that mostly people ask a lot is, should I be friends with upper grades? Now, there's no right or wrong answers. It's just up to you. Now, there's no right or wrong answers. It's just up to you of who you want to be with. If you want to be friends with seniors, go ahead. Be friends with sophomores, go ahead. There's no right or wrong answers. There's this big skeptical myth rumor that says that seniors hate juniors and juniors hate sophomores and sophomores hate freshmen. There's no time where everybody hates each other. Like, once someone said, not everybody can like you in this world. There's going to be haters. There's going to be people who's going to dislike you. The only reason why, according to what I know, why sophomore hates freshmen is because they're immaturity. But the sophomore did the exact same thing as us, so they really cannot be talking, but, So there's really that big myth that goes on, and I don't know who created that, but it's been, I guess, real. I don't know. Like, step away from my podcast for a second. I have a cafeteria that's literally just for juniors and seniors, I think, or just seniors in general. And freshmen and sophomores are not allowed to go into that cafeteria until you become one of those people. So really, I don't know who made that myth up, but you can sit in there. No one's going to go ahead and start attacking you, you know? Now moving on to the next topic. How do I know if I have real or fake friends? Now, having to know whether or not if you know they're a fake or real friend is really up to you. That being said, real friends will actually be there for you in hard times and needs and make you laugh. These friends shouldn't make you do stupid or dumb stuff or take advantage of you in life to make you into becoming a bad person. And fake friends is always going to make you feel left out or just not being able to be a part of a group like hangouts, which is a whole different topic of having a big group of friends. So keep that in mind, please. Or photos, like, for example, fake friends may want you to take the photos and then they'll take a couple pictures and they don't want to take pictures with you. That's a big sign of red flag. Or just anything that involves feeling left out of something. So keep that in mind. Please do. Moving on to the next topic, online friends / best friends. Having online friends now in 2023 is pretty common for so many people. So some people may ask, should you have online friends? Yes or no? That's, again, another question for yourself. I can't really speak much about this topic because I haven't yet experienced this myself. And the only thing I've experienced is IRL friends, which for longer term is in real life friends or in real life. But for IRL friends, like, I have experienced this, so that's why I'm talking about this right now. But, I can't really talk about online friends. I have online friends, but I have never met that experience yet. If I do, I'll probably do that as a bonus podcast this Saturday. I'm not sure. So that's why I'm making this podcast today, is because I want to talk about the reality of having friends. So I want to thank you guys so much for listening to this week's podcast. Hope everyone's drinking some water, and I want to see you guys all next week on Wednesday for the next upcoming podcast. And make sure to follow all my social medias, which will be linked in Linktree and in the description down below. I will be doing a poll at the end of this podcast and asking you guys what you want to hear next. I also will be doing a bonus Saturday. Again, I'll be putting up a poll on this podcast too. See you guys all next time and stay happy. Bye.